For this video, I really don't know how to start this video. Got it. It's Throwback Thursday. Throwback Thursday, I always get excited because I get to go through our old content and see what can I post. Can it be a picture, article, blog? And I decided on this. We're gonna do a video this week. And why I'm doing it now is because this player that we interviewed back 3 years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, was a minor league Cardinal and trying to search for his next level up. And I think at the time of this interview, he was in high A. He was in the middle of high A and double A for the St. Louis Cardinals. And right now he's with the New York Yankees and absolutely destroying it. I wanted to do this interview because it shows a glimpse of what Luke's thoughts were back when he was playing in minor league baseball. And I'm also going to link a podcast that he did with Fitzmaurice down in the description or the post if this is in Facebook. And it's an interview of what's happening now. So you can kind of see where his thoughts were back when he was a minor leaguer and when his thoughts were when he was a major leaguer, or is a major leaguer. So I'm giving you the minor league and Fitzmaurice gives you the major league. Look at these interviews. It is absolute straight fire. And I cannot be more proud of Luke, and I love seeing fellow Missouri State alum crushing it in the big leagues. Enjoy. One more thing, the quality of this video is not very good. My skill set was very, very basic. So bear with the quality. There's gonna be an echo in the room. Also, the video is at 1080p. That probably doesn't mean anything to you, but not as crispy as this look right here. Enjoy the video and I'll talk to you soon. Right now is Luke Voit. Luke, thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yep. Luke is currently a minor league Cardinal in the Cardinals organization, single A, pushing for double A here, coming up in spring training, and you leave when?
I leave in 2 weeks, I leave March 1st. So
2 weeks. Training's going well?
Training's going good, the body feels good.
That's
awesome. Ready to get after it.
That's awesome. When I asked Luke to do this interview, I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, Missouri State, got drafted by the KC Royals in high school, and then gets picked up by hometown and kind of a dream type of atmosphere like Cardinals. Like, what was that like? Take me through that, because I mean, I've never got to experience that. I just want and there's people out there that want to know, like, what is it like to get drafted, but even get drafted by your favorite organization?
Well, first, I was sitting in my basement, and all these names are going by, and I'm not getting anything, like no calls. And I'm sitting down there, so I get all depressed, and I start playing Xbox, so I just kind of get my mind off everything. And I'm in the middle of a game, and all of a sudden, I didn't have my phone on me, and my mom yells from upstairs because my name goes across the computer, and it's like, hey, you've been selected. Not only have you been selected, but you got selected by the St. Louis Cardinals, which I grew up going to, 20 games a year when I was little. Favorite player was Mark McGuire.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all those names have to be going across your head. Ozzie Smith. I mean, that's the one big name that you first grew up with. Yeah, Willie McGee,
Jason Isringhausen, all these guys.
Unbelievable. And I mean, there's so many guys that are sitting during that draft time, and they're sitting there and they're just looking at those names across, and it's kind of like you want to kind of just get away from it. I mean, you hear these first rounders that get away from it, like, why are you getting away from it?
Yeah, I know.
But I mean, you can really understand that because there's a lot of pressure. You've built all the way up to this point, and it comes down to just a decision by someone else.
Phone call.
Yeah, just
like 15 years for.
Yeah, just one little phone call.
It's the most nervous day of my life.
Yeah, but going down that route, I mean, that's probably one of the biggest moments of your career so far professionally, and you can expound more on that. But I want to get down to the college days. Like, what has been the most successful time in college for you?
Most successful time is probably when I started figuring out my junior year what works for me. I mean, because you have all these coaches telling you, like, hey, try this, do this, don't do that. But at the end of the day, you have to be comfortable with what yourself and comfortable what works for you. And that's kind of what's translated to me most in pro ball too, is like you get all this information, but put that information into like a couple things that, makes you, feel your best kind of thing. So
I mean, and that's a great point, because you're getting hit from all different directions. I mean, in high school, you somewhat do, but you don't have that experience that's behind.
So you're just taking it all.
Yeah, you're trying to soak it up. Like you hear that phrase, soak it up like a sponge.
Yeah.
And it's so true, but at the same time, it's like you have to be self-aware of what you're actually doing. So, that's so true, and that rings a lot of bells. What's been at Missouri State? What's been the biggest leap and hurdle? So you had this moment where you're having bombardments of coaches saying, "Hey, do this, do that." Yeah. I mean, when did you really just figure it out? Was it junior year?
I would probably say my junior year, and honestly, I don't want to say just in college, but in pro ball I got a little help too. But I would say my junior year started clicking, and I probably felt more confident because my prep in the off season to the in season part finally started clicking. Mm-hmm. I found certain drills that were working for me, or if this didn't work, then I'd boot that out of it, and I would start focusing on that. And I'd have a routine, and the routine's the biggest part for me that helps me feel best about myself and best when I stepped in the batter's box.
Gotcha. And we played with each other and played against each other in high school, summer ball and spring ball. With summer ball for high schoolers, what could you give a word of advice for these high school guys when it comes to summer baseball, or even just baseball in general, career standpoint?
Yeah. I would get on a travel team. I would do it when I was young. That way you can build a relationship with guys you play, and you get a camaraderie, which is awesome because you'll end up having relationships with those guys the rest of your life. And I would go and play all around the United States and try to get your name out there, so you can get on those certain colleges that maybe you want to go to, TCU.
Yeah.
You want to go to Arizona, you want to go to Louisville, whatever. Just go to those places, get your name out, and if you work hard, and good things usually happen to you. So.
And one thing I want to ask all the players that we come on the show, and you're actually the first one, is how hard is it when you sit down and you're like, you know what, I want to go to Missouri State University. I want to go to the University of Miami. These great the top schools. Tier. Yeah, top tier. I mean, when you make that decision, you commit yourself. Take a day in life of you when you're in high school. What were you thinking? How did you train? I mean, what did you have to do?
I mean, I worked hard. I tried, working out at 3-4 days a week when I was in high school. I hit every day. I tried working on my catching stuff. I tried doing as much as possible to prepare myself. But sometimes I probably did a little bit too much to kind of warm myself out a little bit. But I tried to make it it was my last day. I would have to train it would be my last game the next day or whatever like that. So, because I wanted that, the opportunity so bad.
Yeah. I mean, and then was it the same feeling when you went from it's hard to explain with draft, but then when you got all these schools coming at you, I mean, what was that like?
I mean, it's sweet because you have so many choices and there's so many different opportunities at each place. But I don't know. At the end of the day, it's more I want to play. I didn't want to go there and sit a red shirt or, go there and not play till my senior year, Yeah. So I've always been a competitor, and I always will be, and I wanted to play, and I feel that's when Gutton told me straight up, he's like, yeah, I think you have a chance of playing my freshman year. I mean, that almost just took me right there. I was like, all right, I'm in. I want to go. I want to go here.
And I mean, it's so true. I think the mentality end of things is way more important at times when it comes down just to pure physical strength. I mean, example, guy that we played with, Nick Petrie. I mean, when you talk to him one-on-one, you're like, this guy's a national player of the year. The guy just ends up just coming out and competing. You're the same way as well as most of the guys on our team. And so, I mean, with the mentality standpoint, when you go into a game, what are you thinking?
When I go into a game, I'm thinking, there's a saying I'm Tommy Tucker, I'm a bad dude kind of thing, and I'm going up there I don't care how hard you throw. if you have the best slider in the world, if you're like the top prospect, if you're an All-American, whatever, like you still have to get me out. You still have, you have three strikes. I don't care if I swing and miss the first time, I swing and miss the second time, but I don't care if it's 0-2. I'm still gonna try to, hit a bomb off you.
Now we've talked about all these big successes. Like, take us back to a time in your life, in your career, where it's just not good. Like you're just a failing situation. Like you're just in a big hole. Just take us back to that. Let us know, like, what is it? What happened, and what did you feel, and how did you get yourself out of it?
It was actually last year. I was like 2 for 30. Like striking out. Like, I mean, I was hitting the ball good, but like still caught. Like guys were running down the gap. Like, or I don't know. Like you hit like a seed as a shortstop. And it got to the point where like I'd be on deck, and it's like I almost don't want to hit right now. I feel like I'm not gonna. I'm going up there with zero confidence. Like I got to the point where I hit a ground ball, I wasn't running it out. I'd strike out, I'd throw my bat in the dugout. Like it was bad, and I ended up getting in trouble and got suspended, but for throwing my stuff and not playing baseball the right way. But it kind of taught me a lesson of no matter what. At the end of the day, I'm still playing baseball. I'm playing my childhood dream. You're gonna fail, like 70% of the time. Yeah. Like it sucks, but you just have to grind through it, man up, and good things will happen. Like you just have to wait and be patient, and just know that your routine's there and it's gonna work, and just have a positive mindset. Because if you go negative, you go straight in the dumpster. Yeah,
I mean 2 for 30. I mean that's what? How many games is that?
Yeah, it was like a week of just poop.
How did you get yourself out of it? Like, how did you literally get yourself out? Because, I mean, when you're 2 for 30, I mean, that's a long time.
I kind of just had to, like, sit down with myself and just be like, dude, what are you doing? Like, like you've been able to hit a baseball your whole life, and now you just can't hit a baseball. I mean, it's not like any of these dudes you're facing are any different from last week or, in the future. Like, just relax. Like, take baseball, like, pitch by pitch, moment by moment, not like at bat, or like inning by inning. Take it pitch by pitch, slow the game down, don't speed everything up, because that's what I was doing. I was speeding everything up. So I just had to tell myself to just relax and just trust everything that I'm doing, like my routine, my work ethic.
But you kept the same routine, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, if anything, I did work with a guy, one of our hitting coaches for the Cardinals or whatever, but he just told me to go back to what I felt more comfortable with, and that goes back to what I was saying about earlier about being comfortable with yourself. Yeah. And I totally lost all comfortability with all everything I was doing. So
gotcha. Going into this, what's been the biggest influence in your career? I mean, who has been the biggest influence? Let's phrase it that way. Who's been the biggest influence on Luke Voit's career?
I'd probably say my dad. Just of all the stuff that he's done for me. He always, like, I have a good game, bad game, regardless. He still texts me, like, hang in there, like, you're still you. Like, I believe in you so much, and, like, he's always there and, like, always supports me, and he watches every game at home, always calling me and talking to me, like, what I did bad, what I did good, and, what I need to work on, and he's always trying to help me in the off season, even though I don't really need his help, but, he's trying to be that. He still wants to be a part of it so bad, like he was when I was like 12 years old.
Yeah, it's crazy when you go from like 12 years old and you're so involved with your dad and the teammates and your friends and everything like that. And it feels like those teammates they're going their separate ways, and then other coaches alongside the team go separate ways. But then it just seems like everything goes back. It's just you and your dad, and you're kind of living this dream out. It's just awesome.
He still I'll video myself hitting, and he'll be like, "Hey, send the videos." And I'm looking at him. It's like, what are you gonna tell me?
Yeah, and you have these sessions where you're driving in the car. Yeah. Like if he comes to you, you're driving the car, and you're both looking at the screen. It's funny because it's at the professional level, and you're getting paid for this.
Yeah, I know.
And you still love.
He's still my hitting coach.
Yeah, you still love your. I mean, it's just good stuff. Great stuff. Now, I don't know if you read much, but that's one question I always like to ask. What book have you read that's been a big influence? I mean,
big book.
Like, has there been like a motivational book that you've honed in on, or even just a tool that guys could read? That
what's the Scott from Blue Jays name? Steve Springer?
Yeah, Springer. Yeah.
I had his. I can't remember his book. I had it on audiotaped my car when I drove to spring training last year. I listened to his whole book, and I thought it was awesome. Yeah. Just the whole mental side of baseball.
Mental side of things.
Because I feel like, once you get like drafted, like you have opportunity, I feel like all the physical skills are pretty much the same. Maybe one guy's faster, one guy's stronger, but it's all about the mental, side of the game and how much important that is to make it into the big leagues at the end of the day.
And it's always about learning. I mean, you always want to pick somebody's brain and see what they have under their hood and see if you can kind of implement. It's like, it's not really stealing, but it's kind of just saying, hey, maybe that might work for me. So that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Last question. I always like to ask a fun question. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Shout out to Cannon. Step Brothers.
Step Brothers. I know, you'd be on the bus and someone would always quote it, like you just like quoting spree. And like, then people just jump in on this bus, like just quoting everything.
That's why I said shout out to Cannon. So can I reverse the interview? Like when they do it in there, he's like, let me ask you the question.
Oh gosh. Will Ferrell just bought a soccer team. Yeah, he's a share owner. He's a share owner.
Oh, and for Los Angeles teams?
Los Angeles teams, yeah. That's crazy. Wow. I know. It's unbelievable. So, all right, Luke. Well, thanks. I appreciate it. Guys, that's Luke Voit. Check him out. Google his name. You'll see all this cool stuff. But yeah. Till next time. See ya.